We are sure you all love dragons, the powerful, mystical flying beasts who can annihilate any creature in their path with just one breath. Dragons have always been creatures that have fascinated human beings, so much so that they are always considered to be sitting at the top of the food chain of almost all lores. In today's video, we will talk about one such dragon from the X-Men universe, who might not be the biggest dragon you will see, but is one of the strongest beings from the X-Men comics. We are talking about Lockheed, an alien being who looks like a dragon but is the size of a big cat. In the X-Men comics, he is seen as the pet of Kitty Pryde and plays a significant role in multiple storylines. But before we get started with the video, we have a small request from you. If you like our content, subscribe to us and like this video. It might be just a simple click for you, but it means a lot to us. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get started.
Hold! You okay, Lockheed?
Backstory of Kitty Pryde's pet, Lockheed. In the X-Men comics, Lockheed is a highly intelligent, dragon-like alien who is the pet of Kitty Pryde and a prominent member of the X-Men. He was first introduced in the Uncanny X-Men issue number 166. During the events of this comic, the X-Men were kidnapped by the Broods and taken to their planet, the Sleaze World. While in Sleaze World, Kitty Pryde accidentally phased through a wall and landed in one of the Brood's nests. She tried to escape silently but was caught and chased by the Broods. That's when a small-sized purple dragon creature came to rescue her and destroyed the Broods chasing her. Immediately afterward, Kitty lost contact with the dragon. And later, when the X-Men destroyed the Sleaze World, Kitty Pryde wonders if the small dragon made it through. But unbeknownst to her, the small dragon had made it to Earth with the X-Men. He stayed in the Xavier Mansion for a while and reappeared again in the Uncanny X-Men issue number 168. During this comic, the Professor had demoted Kitty Pryde from the X-Men and made her a member of the New Mutants. This agitated Kitty because she valued herself as an X-Men member and had also saved the X-Men countless times. But the Professor was adamant about his decision. One day when Kitty was studying, she decided to run a home scan of the mansion. She found an anomaly in the lower maintenance tunnels and decided to check it out. When she reached the site, she discovered that something had ripped the main cable and reported the same to the Professor, who asked Kitty to wait as he was sending Colossus. Right around the same time, Kitty notices a weird sound and finds it to be the same purple dragon that saved her in Sleaze World. Kitty was delighted to see the dragon, as she thought the dragon met his demise after the destruction of Sleaze World. But her happiness did not last long as she came face to face with Sidrian hunters, an alien race of predators. The Sidri attacked Kitty, and she was unable to use her powers for some time, but the purple dragon came to her rescue, and Kitty immediately named him Lockheed. With the help of Lockheed, Kitty was able to hold the Sidris until Colossus came to the site. While Colossus was fighting the Sidris, Lockheed managed to destroy all the eggs laid by the Sidris in the basement. Later, upstairs, Kitty introduces Lockheed to the Professor, and watching Kitty's bravery in the maintenance room, the Professor assigns Kitty back to the X-Men. After this event, Lockheed became a prominent member of the X-Men and has aided the team in multiple adventures. When the Beyonder created the Battle World, Lockheed was also taken into the Battle World along with the X-Men. But as soon as he entered the Battle World, Lockheed disappeared and met a green-colored dragon. Later, Lockheed appeared again and brought the new dragon with him. The X-Men named the new dragon Puff, and when the X-Men were transported to Earth after the Secret Wars event, Puff entered the device, and the device started malfunctioning. Thus, the X-Men were transported to Japan instead of America, and Puff became a full-sized dragon and started wreaking havoc in Japan. The X-Men tried to calm it down but could not deduce why the dragon was causing so much ruckus. As Puff was about to kill Storm and Sunfire, Lockheed came to their rescue. Lockheed attacks Puff, and she runs away from the site and kills herself in a gigantic energy blast. Later, the X-Men realized that Puff was in love with Lockheed and was building a nest to live together as a couple. But Lockheed rejected her proposal, and she committed suicide in sadness. Lockheed leaves the X-Men and becomes a member of the New British Mutants. Later down the line, when Kitty Pryde leaves the X-Men and creates her own superhero team called Excalibur, Lockheed also follows her and becomes a member of the newly formed superhero team. During one of the missions of the Excalibur, they come face to face with Dr. Doom. And during their fight, Lockheed protects Kitty Pryde and is severely wounded. The team immediately took Lockheed to a medical facility to get him treated. Lockheed's astral form emerged from its body and started traveling out of the Earth inside a spaceship. The spaceship was full of the members of the dragon race that Lockheed was a part of. This race of dragons can travel anywhere with their spaceship, but only in their astral form. Since Lockheed was also in his astral form, it became easy for him to communicate with his brethren. But suddenly, Lockheed was chained with the allegations that he fled from his flock and betrayed his brethren. Their kind considered this an act of treason and put Lockheed on trial. During the trial, it was revealed that Lockheed was one of his flock's bravest warriors and protected his world against the broods. But the day before Lockheed was to be married to his fiancée, he vanished and left his home world. Later, Lockheed reveals why he left his flock and why he aligns himself with Kitty Pryde and the other members of the Excalibur. The judge was convinced of Lockheed's claims but still wanted to punish him. But suddenly, the spacecraft carrying the astral form of the dragon started to shake. The judge realized that the pilot had fallen asleep and that if they didn't wake up, they would all lose contact with their real bodies on their planet and would never be able to return. Thus, Lockheed helped his brethren again and saves their lives. Since Lockheed saves their lives, the judge asked if Lockheed wanted to come with them or wanted to stay with the humans. Lockheed chooses to stay with Kitty Pryde and her team because this is the first time he has known friendship. Thus, the dragons exiled Lockheed out of their flock. Lockheed was unsure if staying with Kitty was the right decision, but his love for her won, and he came back to his real body and was thus revived. Later, Kitty Pryde fell in love with Peter Wisdom, a member of MI-13, but Lockheed disapproved of this relationship, so he decided to disappear and torment Peter by stealing his cigarettes. Peter tried to complain to the members of Excalibur that Lockheed was capable of speech and was the one tormenting him, but no one believed the boy. However, despite his hatred for Peter, Lockheed saves his life during one of his fights with his archenemy, Scratch.
Right, Lockheed?
Lockheed's betrayal and the death of Kitty Pryde. Lockheed appears again in the astonishing X-Men run, where he plays an integral role in multiple storylines. During an event, The Sword, an agency made to protect Earth from sentient threats, seeks the X-Men's help in protecting Earth from an impending doom. When the X-Men reach Breakworld to save the Earth, they are shocked by the revelation that Lockheed is betraying the X-Men and supplying sensitive information to the Sword. However, later it is revealed that Lockheed did not really want to betray the X-Men, but he was doing this because the Sword promised to help him resolve matters in his home world. And during this storyline, Kitty Pryde sacrifices herself in order to protect Earth from a massive bullet fired from Breakworld. Kitty's supposed demise was devastating for Lockheed, and he made the decision to quit the X-Men and join the Sword. Even after joining Sword, Lockheed was not able to get over the death of Kitty and started relying on alcohol to get over his sorrow. During this time, his demeanor also changed, and he stopped holding back before attacking anyone. Later, Abigail Brand reveals that Kitty is still alive inside the bullet, but no one is able to get her out of it. This prompted Lockheed to seek help from the unit, a sentient android created by an unknown alien species that possessed godlike intelligence. But the unit who was imprisoned by the Sword asked Lockheed to free him in return for his help. He wasn't letting Unit escape prison, so he abandoned the plan and flew away. However, Kitty Pryde was saved by Magneto and rejoined the X-Men. When the Broods attacked Pandora Box, a Sword space station, Beast asked the X-Men for their help. During X-Men's visit to the Pandora Box, Kitty Pryde and Lockheed reunite again, and Lockheed plays a crucial role in defeating the Broods. However, things did not go as planned, and all of the X-Men got turned into Broods. This made Lockheed decide to abandon the space station and also asked Kitty Pryde to come with him. But Kitty refused and decided to help the X-Men. Lockheed didn't want to leave without Kitty, so he also assisted her in helping the X-Men defeat the Brood army. After this event, Lockheed quit Sword, returned to Earth with Kitty, and rejoined the X-Men. Lockheed's cosmic adventures and undying loyalty for Kitty Pryde. Lockheed appears again after the events of Schism, where the X-Men were divided into two teams. One team was led by Wolverine, who started the Jean Grey School of Higher Learning, and the other team was led by Cyclops, who started the new Charles Xavier School. Since Kitty Pryde already had a very close bond with Wolverine, she stayed with him and became the headmistress of the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning. And Lockheed followed her. Lockheed became a member of the school staff and acted as a hall monitor. Later, the Broods create a master plan to infiltrate Kitty Pryde's body and kill her from inside. Thus, all the X-Men, including Lockheed, went inside Kitty's body by shrinking themselves to fight and protect the brutes from killing Kitty Pryde. After the Battle of the Atom event, Kitty Pryde and Lockheed leave the Jean Grey school and join Cyclops' school because Wolverine did not trust them during battle. Later, Lockheed follows Kitty Pryde to space during the events of Guardians of the Galaxy and X-Men: The Black Vortex. When Cyclops' school is disbanded, Kitty Pryde joins the new Guardians of the Galaxy under the leadership of Rocket Raccoon. But this time, Lockheed is not seen with her, and it never was revealed where Lockheed was during Kitty Pryde's space adventures. However, Lockheed appears again during X-Men: The Wedding Special issue #1, where he stays with Kitty, who is preparing to get married to Colossus. Later, during X-Men Gold issue #30, it is revealed that Lockheed was married to Puff, who was revived by unknown means, and even had a baby with her. We suspect this happened during the disappearance from Kitty Pryde's adventures with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Come back, you coward!
Lockheed joins the Marauders and avenges Kate Pryde. After the formation of the land of Krakoa, Kitty, who now goes by the name Kate Pryde, comes to the island along with Lockheed and creates a new team called the Marauders, intending to save all the mutants and bring them to Krakoa. However, during her rescue mission in Madripoor, she was ambushed by Sebastian Shaw. Lockheed tries to protect Kate but is caught by Sebastian in a net and thrown into the water. Although Lockheed was assumed to be dead, he was alive in the care of a fisherman and her daughter. After recovering, Lockheed returns to Krakoa, and Emma Frost and the others learn that Sebastian Shaw was behind the death of Kate Pryde. After Kate is resurrected, Emma Frost, Storm, and Kate ambush Sebastian in his house and give him a fierce beatdown. Later, Lockheed appeared, bit out Shaw's right eye, and threw it into the fire, completing his revenge.
Never seen in my life. Don't you agree?
Other media appearance of Lockheed. Apart from Lockheed's comic book appearances and adventures, he was also a significant part of multiple TV shows and movies. His first animated appearance was in a film titled Pride of the X-Men. In this animated movie, Lockheed is a member of the Brotherhood of Mutant Terrorists. However, he was not treated properly and was bullied by the members of the Brotherhood. When Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler come to fight Magneto, Lockheed helps the duo by biting off Magneto's foot and later joins Kitty Pryde and the X-Men. Lockheed makes another appearance in a TV show called The Superhero Squad Show. He appears in only one of the episodes of the series titled Mysterious Mayhem at Mutant Academy. Later, Lockheed also made his live-action debut in the New Mutants movie, where he was initially a stuffed toy carried by Illyana, but later came to life and helped Illyana fight the Demon Bear. Lockheed's arsenal, the remarkable powers of Kitty Pryde's loyal ally. Lockheed is one of the strongest allies of the X-Men and has helped them in multiple missions because of his impressive arsenal of powers and abilities. Lockheed is capable of flight and is extremely agile in the air. Not only that, he can also carry a person with him and aid during an aerial fight. Lockheed can also breathe fire from his mouth like a full-sized dragon. Apart from breathing fire, Lockheed is also able to breathe smoke into a room and produce a smoke screen. He is also resistant to fire and heat attacks because, during one instance, he was able to submerge himself in a lava pool without any harm. Lockheed is also an omnilingual, which means he can converse in multiple languages, and he also showcases a deep sense of empathy, recognizing the slightest shift in emotions in others. Apart from all of these abilities, Lockheed can also resist telepathic attacks from even the strongest of telepaths like Professor X. Despite being the size of a big cat, Lockheed is a formidable ally and can do anything to protect Kitty Pryde and the X-Men.
Right, Lockheed?
Marvelous verdict. Our purple fire-breathing pal might not look like a strong force of nature, but he has showcased his mettle multiple times by protecting Kitty Pryde and the X-Men from life-threatening threats. And with the X-Men coming to Marvel, we can expect that Lockheed might be a member of the new roster of X-Men. We have already seen Marvel include dragons in its TV series and movies, so it's not far-fetched for Marvel to include Lockheed in the new roster of X-Men. Would you like Lockheed to appear in the new X-Men movie in the MCU? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. With that being said, if you like our content, like it and subscribe it if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.